So the remote assignment this week, students, is to create a sphere using chalk. And we're going to be using colors that you will use from the still life. So feel free to go back to that slide. It's at the end of the presentation too. So you're going to start with a sphere that you trace. And then you're going to be using black chalk, brown chalk. You all have a little bit different tools for this. Same colors, but they might be in kind of a square shape instead of a pencil. So you're going to put in some highlights and some shadows using brown, black, and white. This is in reverse, the video. It flips, so this would really be the bottom of the sphere that I'm shading. It's just upside down. So again, the trick with shading is to have the value change gradually. So I'm starting with this dark pressure, and then slowly I'm lightening it up as I move up the sphere. I'm lightening up my pressure slightly as I move up the sphere. And then I'm going to go in with my brown, so it helps create that kind of transition value. So it goes from dark to kind of this medium value. And then the paper is toned. It's going to be even darker, your final paper. This is just your practice paper. But it already has a tone to it, which is nice because when we put in the highlight, the white, it'll show up. This tone paper is a nice kind of medium value that we don't even have to create. More of like a medium light. And the chalk blends. I think I use my hand first. Tissue actually works even better. It's different than like graphite pencil. It doesn't blend the same. So I would encourage you to actually use either Q-tips or tissues or something like that to blend with. On the other side of the sphere, I'm starting with brown and again having it gradually change and get lighter towards more of the center. The center of the sphere is a little bit lighter than like the top edge. My not brush strokes, but like pencil marks, kind of sometimes you can see them, so it's nice to kind of mimic the shape of the sphere and have your marks curve around the sphere as you color. Everyone has a different style, though. Some people's is going to be a little sketchier than others. Some people have a really clean style. There's no right or wrong. They're just different styles of working. All right, I'm putting in some white in the center, and again, then I'm trying to lighten my pressure so it gradually fades from really light to dark. So that's how we're going to make these still lifes. We're going to shade them with like an underpainting in a sense using brown, black, and white. And then we're going to put color right on top. So after you blend everything, oh, I'm putting a little shadow underneath it too. There's a little reflected light on the edge of the sphere. All right, so if I flip it, it's right side up for you. Now I'm going to go in and put color over it. You're going to lose some of the value, but most of it will still show up. So I'm really lightly, again, notice I'm not coloring it all the way. I'm letting some of that paper show through because it'll blend. You don't want to press too hard or you're going to have tons of extra chalk. And then I'm going to blend with the tissue. And now I can see the value through it because I didn't put too thick of a layer on. I'm going in with my eraser to kind of clean up the edges too. Chalk does go kind of everywhere, so you have to be cognizant of that. And then I'm going to pull back up some of those highlights and shadows now that I've put the color on top, just to make it look even more finished. Going back in with my brown a little bit. pull in some of that value that got lost. That is not your bell, that's my bell here in my recording. And then I'm going in with my black and just kind of crisping up those edges. It'll look really fuzzy if you blend after every time you color. You want to do that as you're building value, but then you want to kind of put in some value and leave it. I'm kind of crisping up the edge with the green too. But then I'm really not going to blend this last step. I'm going to kind of leave it. Blend a tiny bit, but not on the edges of the sphere. Just like in that green area. I'm leaving those brown and black and white spots. So when you're ready, you're going to do the same thing. Draw it, and then shade it using brown and black and white for highlights. When you're done, add color on top, blend, and then the last step is to kind of clean up and crisp some areas, and don't blend after that. When you are ready, you may complete your work and upload it to Classroom.